Talk. If you're new to Nurse Talk, welcome. And if you're an oldie, welcome back. On Nurse Talk, we like to talk to new grad and old grad nurses and kind of talk about nursing trending topics. And then we dazzle in a little travel content in there too. So if this is something that you guys are interested in, please subscribe, like, and keep up with us.
Yes. So today we're talking about another nurse that has been indicted. The title in the New York Times reads, Grand Jury Indicts Nurse, but Not Jail Officers in Death of Black Man. So we're just going to delve into the story of Michelle Heughins, 46-year-old private contracted nurse that was working in a jail with 5 correctional officers. And there was a situation where
it sounds like the patient seized.
That's what it seems like, because
from the story it sounds like the patient was on a top bunk. He fell off the top bunk for whatever reason, and officers came in the room trying to assess the situation. But when you have a seizure, so someone has a seizure, they're like, tonic-clonic, where they're like arms, legs, everything going crazy.
Right.
And then after a seizure, you don't remember what happened.
Right.
So you wake up, open your eyes, and you just see everybody in your face. And a lot of patients that are in that postictal phase, and that's a phase after a seizure, they're normally confused, and they can get combative because they're startled.
Right.
Right.
So this is allegedly. This is just our take on it.
Yeah, this is
But yeah, so they did say that he had vomited and he also had blood in his mouth. Right. So we're assuming that's why it might have been a seizure, because those are some things that can happen with a seizure.
From biting your tongue and everything like that.
Exactly. And then they also put him in cuffs and they restrained him, and he was on his stomach for more than 12 minutes. Now, where Michelle comes into the story is that she was asking officers if she could come into the cell to check the patient because he was screaming things like, I can't breathe, and things like that.
Right.
And shouting for his mom. So when she went in, she noticed that, which after the 12 minutes that she was finally let in, she noticed that he wasn't breathing, and she immediately started CPR. She's the only person who actually tried to save this man's life. So that's why we're kind of like confused as to why she was the only one charged in this case. If anything, she should be walking away scot-free with this one, because she actually acted as she should as a medical professional.
Right. And yeah, this situation is so weird, because you would think, I guess as a correctional officer, your job is to protect yourself, right? You're used to having rowdy, uncontrollable, I guess, I don't know what they call them, inmates. So I guess that's what it was, where they saw the situation, they were like, all right, let's restrain him. But as a medical professional, in that kind of situation, you don't want to restrain, especially in that kind of position. You have them prone, you have them tied up for that long. And if someone is saying they can't breathe, it's most likely
they can't breathe.
Right. So, it's kind of, it's definitely very bizarre that she's the one taking the fault for all this now.
Right, and this was in North Carolina at the Forsyth County Jail.
Right.
That this occurred in, back in December of 2019.
So it looks like at the end of it all, I'm sorry, we're reading our notes, but it sounds like the patient had ended up dying from a brain injury secondary to cardiopulmonary arrest caused by positional compressional asphyxia during prone restraint. So
basically that means that his heart and his breathing stopped, okay? And then it also means that he was in a position where it was compressing against like his heart and lungs. And then also that asphyxia means a loss of like your airway.
Right. So it sounds like his death is a direct result of the restraint.
Yeah, because then he ended up with the brain injury, and he died in this situation happened on the 1st, so December 4th, he actually passed away at Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center from these injuries.
Right. Yeah, so it's so crazy how this all escalated. You have this guy that recently gets booked, put to jail,
Mm-hmm.
and then within 24 hours of him being booked, he ends up having this episode, which we came to the conclusion that was a seizure.
Right.
And unknown to these officers, they're kind of like, they maybe looked at his confusion or his post-ictal phase as a combative kind of thing, and they restrain him,
right.
which ending up leading to a fatality.
Right.
Which,
so,
in end, the nurse is charged.
Right. That's the part I really don't understand. It's hard to wrap your mind around because I can kind of see where the officers were coming from, because they were like, they're
Protect
not medical.
Yourself.
Yeah, they're not medical personnel, so they probably weren't thinking, oh, he's in a post-ictal phase, something like that. But if somebody's saying they can't breathe, that's where it becomes a little sketchy. And then also in the article, remember they were saying like they tried to cut, or no, first they tried to use the keys to get the patient out of the restraints. However, the key broke. Then they tried to use cutters to get him out, and then that wasn't working for whatever reason. And then finally they were able to get him out with a different pair of cutters. So it's just like, it just seems like there's a lot of holes in this story, and for it all to fall down on just this nurse, I really don't understand how this happened. Maybe it's because she's privately contracted, so she wasn't part of their facility, so they felt no need to protect her. Again, this goes back to having your own malpractice insurance.
Huge.
Yeah, so huge. I mean, it's unfortunate. I don't know what she could have done in this situation to have prevented, except for maybe having the insurance, but it sounds like they would still indict her on something at the end of the day, because that's who they were gunning for.
Right. And I mean, in this kind of situation, would you have done anything different?
What could you do?
Yeah.
She was asking to be let into the cell to evaluate him. She started compressions as soon as she was able to get in there, which is what we're taught. So it's really, there's nothing you can say that she could have done differently in actions. What do you think?
Right. I mean, I guess in this kind of situation, if the situation prohibits you from carrying out the care that you want to provide, this is where I would have 100% of my charting backing up everything that happened. And I would definitely time log things time by time, from the time that y'all called me and told me what was going on to the time that I came to the situation, to everything I saw transpired, and to the moments I tried to intervene. I would have that all documented in a way to kind of cover myself, to show that I did try to do everything I could to kind of help the patient, because now she finds herself in a tricky situation. But if you have that all clearly documented, that you came to the situation at this time, and that you did this and this is the things you attempted to do, however they were not, you were not allowed to do those measures, or whatever the case may be, it kind of helps back up the fact that you did your due diligence in the situation, and that you are not the one at fault for this patient.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
Yeah, losing their life.
That's kind of all she could have really did.
That's all.
Or maybe call, because this went on for 12 minutes, so maybe she could have called like
a superior
and got them involved.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously she was trying to just get to the patient. Like that was her main priority as a healthcare provider. So it's just like it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate.
Yeah. So again, guys, here is our third nurse of 2022. I mean, we didn't think we'd be talking about a third nurse so soon.
No.
But this is our third nurse, where we're reaching a point where the fault is placed on the nurse, and we want to know what you're thinking. Do you feel like this nurse was right in everything that she did? Is there anything, do you think that she could have taken an extra measure, an extra step to kind of help prevent this patient from dying, in this situation? So let us know what you think in the comments. As you can tell, this is such a it's a weird case.
It is.
It's a weird case.
It's very cringy. Very cringy.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's something that's not in the article that we're missing, which we're gonna leave the article below for you guys to check out.
Right.
But I mean, that's all we got for you right now.
So stay a part of the conversation. Let us know what you think. Go ahead and leave comments below. Like the video if you're interested in this kind of content. We are not solely talking about nurses and their charges that they've been taking in 22, but it's just like this is what's trending now, and this is
it definitely needs to be brought to light, and it's a discussion that should be had in regards to it. So
absolutely. So like, comment, and go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We would love for you to keep up with our content and kind of stay a part of the conversation.
Yep.
But thanks for tuning in.
Yes, until next time.
All right, see ya.
Bye.